So we started off our holiday in Lima, the capital. We stayed in a hostel called Pariwana, the party hostel, and it happened to be just across the road from a park full of cats. Ash's dream. If you like the surf as well, the beach is just a short walk away from the hostel. So we went down there, had some ice creams and even met Paddington Bear. Now I did say it was a party hostel. Every night they had new events like ping pong or, as you can see here, salsa dancing. Nice salsa the night away. The next day we decided to walk all the way to central Lima. Usually we're fine with a long walk, but when it's very hot you don't have much water and you don't actually know where you're going, maybe not so great. As you can see here from my face in front of the presidential palace. So we did what any tired, annoyed tourist would do. We went and found some Wi-Fi, some cocktails, and ignored each other on our phones until we felt better. By the way, Lima is home to the Metropolitano, so if you don't want to suffer like us, just get the bus. It's really easy. We did actually end up using this on one of our other days and it was fantastic. So after a couple of days in Lima, we got a bus journey all the way to Ica and from there went to Huacachina Lagoon, which is an oasis in the desert. For all our bus journeys throughout the holiday, we used Cruz del Sur. They were recommended by a friend of a friend and did not disappoint. They're meant to be the safest bus company out there. The seats were really comfortable, they have little TV screens so you can watch some films, and they even give you meals, albeit cheap airline meals, but it's still a free meal. In Huacachina we stayed in Banana Hostel, again a recommendation from a friend of a friend, and downright my favourite place I have ever stayed. Now the big thing to do in Huacachina is to go dune buggying and sandboarding. And with Banana Hostel, that's actually included in the price of the room, so you don't have to pay any extra. When it came to the sandboarding section, we were enjoying ourselves so much we forgot to really record anything. But just imagine yourself hurtling down a steep cliff on a little wooden board face first. Downright the most terrifying and exhilarating experience of my life. There's a gigantic sand dune in Huacachina, and some Canadian people we'd met in the hostel recommended we go climb up it and watch the sunset. So we did. It was a little bit difficult getting up there, but it was totally worth it. The view was pretty amazing from up there, and we watched the sunset along with a few other tourists as well. There were also some locals sandboarding down, and a gentleman on some skis who must have gone up and down 4 or 5 times in the time it took us to get up once. So we didn't have any sandboards or skis to get down. However, we had seen lots of other people running, just like these people were here. So that's what we did, and it was actually surprisingly easy and no one fell over. However, if you do run up and down the sand dune, you have to be prepared for some sandy feet. From there we took a grueling 19-hour bus journey all the way up to Cusco. Cusco is a beautiful and historic city nestled 3,400 meters above sea level, meaning that altitude sickness is a real big problem. Now Ash wasn't hit that hard, but oh boy was I ill. Now we stayed in another Peruana hostel. This one was beautiful with a big courtyard. On one of the nights, when I was feeling a little better, they held a hat party. Drinking at altitude is quite an experience. 2 drinks and we managed to get this drunk face. Of course you can't go to Peru without going to see Machu Picchu. So we booked the trip through our hostel. Now they had 1 day or 2 day packages and we only had time for the 1 day, which in hindsight I would have much preferred to have the extra time in Aquas Calientes. We didn't go and do the mountains, but we did walk all the way to the Sun Gate. It was a really beautiful long walk with fantastic views and some amazing wildlife. I even saw a hummingbird, yet another thing off my bucket list. After Machu Picchu, we decided to go down to the hot springs in Aguas Calientes, as I'd heard they're pretty amazing. And honestly, after climbing around Machu Picchu, it is just what our weary legs needed. After that, it was back to Cusco, and we decided to do a free walking tour. I'd actually recommend doing walking tours on your first day in a city, but as I was feeling so ill, I definitely wasn't up to it before now. Along the way we met this gentleman who was playing some traditional music, some of which you've already heard in this vlog. It was amazing the kind of sounds he could create with items you didn't even think were musical instruments like this feather. Then it was time for us to have a go. How do you do it?
Like a trumpet.
I've never played a trumpet.
You have to fart through your mouth.
I've never played a shell before.
No.
Yeah.
We were also taken to a shop where we actually bought quite a few things. Then they dressed us up and made us kiss. And it was all a bit awkward but hilarious at the same time. After Cusco we made a short journey down to Abancay. Now this was definitely not a tourist area. We felt very out of place. We ended up going to a nature reserve which had a little mini zoo. Here we go. And then wait a minute. I started to feel quite unsettled here, especially as there are some very ferocious guard dogs. But this was actually Ash's favourite part of the whole trip. But all too soon it was time to make the long journey all the way back to Lima. We spent our last day at the beach, soaking up the sun and playing in the surf. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed our journey to Peru, and I hope you've come away with some really good tips of what to do if you ever visit this amazing country. If you've got any questions, do pop them in the comments down below, and if you want more content like this, do like and subscribe. So I'll leave you here with a wonderful picture of me on the London Underground, looking incredibly grumpy after a long flight, and hopefully we'll see you next time.